I must have essence and Botsoakers.
Welcome, Botsoakers. Alexstrasza is on the menu today. Following a training session with a healer main, we had a very in-depth conversation about the viability of Alexstrasza now that everyone has a self-cleanse. A lot of important information came to light. We talked about builds, we talked about play styles, we talked about her viability on different maps. If this is going to be of interest from you, I know you can learn something. Keep watching.
So flower build.
So Alexstrasza.
Yep, so number one is Live and Let Live, which is the sort of weakest of the lot, but will synergise with the ones later, which means that that's going to make the difference. So you can't do flower build without that.
That's correct.
So while you're above 75%, Gift of Life is 100% faster.
Yeah.
It's half. Yeah.
Let me preface by saying that we both play Alexstrasza quite a bit. StinkyAD basically plays full heal build Alexstrasza, and as he's a healer main, as myself, I don't often play healers, and I just feel more comfortable playing a more utility based healer like Rhaegar, Alex, Flame build, or Karazim, for example.
Karazim the monk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you take Flames of Fury, obviously.
I take Flames of Fury at that level, yeah.
So it's more dragons as well.
That's the key, yeah. Yes, to get, so it's more,
which obviously
more
is
aggressive.
powerful, right? And a lot of this always depends on your draft. You know, I mean, if you got like another healer in the draft, then yeah, go flame build all the way, right? For an extreme example.
Yeah, that's right. But you'd be better off probably. If you had a hyper carry hero, perhaps you could run two healers. But I think two healer meta's not really.
Oh yeah, no,
viable.
That's just an
Although
extreme example.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Perhaps a Karazim damage build.
People with a lot of self-sustain and all that
Yeah,
sort of thing.
that's right. Yeah. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that you are looking for. If you're going this character and you're thinking about running the flame build, really you want to run it in a draft, as Adam just said, with characters with a bit of self-sustain, like Arthur's who can pop Army of the Dead and live forever, Thrall who heals himself loads, Valor who can get all these sort of characters who do have a certain amount of self-sufficiency and don't just rely on you.
Invincible Imperious.
Exactly, Invincible Imperious, yes. Because I feel like in the heat of the moment, in the heat of a battle, they output a similar amount of healing, like burst healing, because it's the same ultimate really, which will be saving the day. But yeah, just general sustain throughout the game, the healing build will be much more efficient. But yeah. But as we also commented earlier, that by doing more damage, that kind of in a roundabout way equates to healing as well. Yeah,
less healing required
because the fights are over quicker as long as you got as long as it's focused damage. And that's another part of it is on level 1 taking this talent, you have to be able to stack that reasonably quick. You know, you want to be running with the team and you want to be stacking it. Yeah. So you want lots of skirmishes.
So you're literally getting one every other fight, like
a dragon.
Little fight, not big fight. Yeah.
But I mean, you want to be hitting the 20. You got to get 20 before that even kicks in.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to stack that really quick, and then you can start getting more
reward.
dragons.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, but it's easy to get 20 on that, isn't it?
Well, it depends on the game. Sometimes, if they're being really elusive, and it's less skirmishy, people are playing the map well.
Yeah.
Then it can be a lot harder. But if it's like all random, all mid, everyone's in the mid just like brawling all game, then you get mega value out of that.
See, whereas when I'm Alex, everybody knows that I'm just a healer freak, and so like they can pick talents, like they can pick something that's maybe gives them more damage instead of self-sustain, right?
Yeah.
Because they know that I'm going to flower them consistently. And so they can pick talents that are maybe they wouldn't pick usually, knowing that I'm going to. So that can give them an incremental advantage as well, I think.
That's true. Talking of the flower, when does that come on? It's level 7? Okay.
7. Right, so number 1, you need to take Live and Let Live, because that means you're going to get twice as many flowers when your health's above 75%.
Yeah, so the whole premise of this build is to stay above 75%. That's where you're getting the top value, isn't it?
And so your W's, your circles on the ground, really, they're going to be for yourself.
Yeah.
just to keep your health up above 75%, right?
That's right.
And obviously, you use them when you need to, but that's the main usage for that W, because your Q is just so consistent and free, mana free once you get the flower, level 7.
Yes,
that you can just heal bomb big time, right?
we can't forget that.
You keep yourself over 75%.
But when she does heal, she does lose health. So that's
No, not with the flower. You get it back.
yeah, until you get the flower. Yeah, if you can pick the flower up. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't heal. I always say in the chat, the first thing I write is not many heals before level 7.
Yeah, you do.
And so before level 7, the circle is for everybody. But after level 7, that circle is mine. Everybody else is constantly topped up because the flower is so... What is the cooldown on that? Cooldown is 7 seconds, so it's every 3.5 seconds. You get a free heal.
Yeah. As long as it's safe to pick up the flower, of course. But yeah.
Which comes to number 4 talent, exuberance. You've got to take the speed, 15% movement speed, which doesn't sound much, but actually translate, it's massive, isn't it? It feels really it feels massive. You can outrun people and run away from stuff and retrieve your flower more easily, right?
I've heard you said that you don't have to mount. You basically feel like you're on a mount all the time.
I can go between lanes. So if someone loses a lot of health and then we're changing lanes, especially with the flower, I can just not mount and run behind them and just keep healing them with the flower. And by the time we get to the next lane, they haven't got far enough away from me to not be able to heal them.
Yeah, so you get
And
2 or 3
guaranteed
heals.
full health. That's how many you get, right? So switching between lanes, you can just full health people. Just you don't have to mount.
Yeah, so
obviously you should mount, but that means it enables me to just
keep healing.
And it's free heals.
Yeah,
heals.
and that comes back.
The way, right?
Comes back to the sustain, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So number 4, take exuberance, and it enables that, which is massive. Like being able to do that between every lane change is, you can do some serious healing. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, but mostly to retrieve the flower after level 7.
Which is a massive talent, Life Blossom on 7.
Yeah, massive. It's so overpowered, man. That's the thing. What it does is it makes you specialise hardcore onto healing, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're above 75% health, that is overpowered. That talent, way overpowered. But
yes.
Second you drop below 75, you're so weak and you've got no heals for anybody. And they're expecting the heals because they've been getting them the whole match, right?
Yeah, so this is the problem.
You're weak. Right?
For me, the problem is during a team fight, if your positioning isn't on point and you're picking up them flowers that are a bit tempting and maybe putting you in a slightly risky position, then things can start to go sort of wonky quite quickly. But you've always got the dragon to fall back on, of course.
Yeah, and you've also got the W that you can chuck out. Like if they all run off into a big skirmish ahead of you, rather than get too close, you can pop a W underneath them far away and just don't take damage and just hit them with the fire, right? Because your flame is quite a long range.
Yeah, yeah.
And you've got your 15% extra movement speed, and so you can actually do a little bit more of a sort of in and out sort of thing, right? You can get a little bit closer than you might normally be able to because you can get out.
Duck and weave, duck and weave.
Yeah, and it's easier to dodge spells as well, like sort of telegraphed ones.
Yes. I want to say at this point that a lot of people have said to me they don't feel that Alex is a very good healer because of her lack of cleanse. But now that everybody has a self-cleanse, I think that's bumped her up significantly.
Yeah, I think she's the best, man. Like for healing.
Yeah, but cleanse is very important because it's the focus.
Yeah. That's right.
To save.
But see, a player like me, I'm not as good as you, right? And so for me to be so on the ball about what everything that's going on, to know exactly like, right, cleanse now. I've quickly got to do that cleanse because I've been waiting for all these spells and all that. I'm not as good as you, right? And so therefore, I mean, obviously you should play whatever build you get the most value from, right? Or your team gets the most value from. But for me, I get so much value from this that, like, that's that level 13 talent, isn't it? Pacify, for example.
Yeah.
Like you take that, it goes on your number 1, and you just know when to do it. Like you do it for other people, not just to save yourself, right?
That's right.
I'm just not quite that on the ball, like about what everybody's doing. Like I can watch all their health bars, like I can do that, but watching exactly what spells they've done and how many seconds their cooldown is for their next E, like I'm just not that on the ball with it.
Yeah. So
I will take Dragon Scales because it happens by itself. So again, when I'm overstepping a little bit to get the flower, then if I get stunned, rooted, or silenced, then I get 50 armor for 2 seconds. Every 10 seconds as well.
you've gone a little bit quiet. Move nearer to the mic.
Oh, sorry.
That's better.
So every 10 seconds as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's like sort of consistent saving myself while I'm getting the flower. If I should get caught out, I've got the movement speed and everything, so I shouldn't, but that really helps. Whereas I can see that Pacify is probably the better talent if you're an incredibly good player and you're like, oh, that guy's coming after me now, I just need to pacify him and run off. Like they'll root me before I pacify them, right? And so I'm better off with Dragon Scales at my skill level. But I do acknowledge that Pacify is probably the better talent. Anyway, level 7, Life Blossom. So again, when you're above 75, so if you go below 75%, you lose your flower, you lose your free mana, you lose your free heal, you lose your quick heal, like you lose your cooldown doubles, and you lose your movement speed.
Yeah.
So it's you know, you really have to manage your own health just
So-
as much as you manage everyone else's.
Yeah, so the first three talents you pick are all
to get
geared
the flower.
around staying above 75.
Big
And
time.
Totally
And then
empowering
obviously
it.
there's the level 10.
Which you go.
It's all about Lifebinder, but again, it does depend. Sometimes, if we've got like in that game earlier where you didn't have a tank and you had the hacker, I'd be tempted to take Cleansing Flame, because if we had the hacker, Thrall, and like another Bruiser hero or something, like a bit of a wonky draft.
Yeah, lots of melee, for example.
Yeah, loads of melee, and they're all going to be right in with everybody, all
Melee.
fighting hand to hand. Then Cleansing Flame is awesome, man, because that can proc your dragon quicker as well, right?
Yes, also on a boss map, Cleansing Flame's really good on a fight over the boss, because when people get on
That's
the
right.
point,
Yeah, when everyone's clumped up. Yeah.
you're not only healing but damaging them as well
That's right.
on the points. That's a
And so then
consideration.
after that talent, after what is it? Is it 20? The upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you damage 8 heroes, that's easy. Like on anything with a point that you fight over, that's just standard. And so then you get a free dragon from that as well.
That's right. Yeah.
But it's all about Lifebinder. 90% of the time. And I used to always be about Cleansing Flame, but again, that was a skill level thing. Like when my skill level now is enough that I know when I've got a Lifebinder someone and who I'm supposed to Lifebinder, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, if ETC does a mosh, I'll wait and Lifebinder him so he can get out, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're both really powerful. They're both awesome.
They are both very good ults. Yeah.
And Cleansing Flame is so much fun, isn't it?
Yeah. That's another
I
great.
mean, it adds enjoyment, doesn't it?
And the other
So,
thing
you
about
know.
it is that it gives you major movement across the map. So if
big
you've just
time.
spawned in base and there's a fight kicking off, you can just pop it and you can be there. You might waste the first two, but you can cross the map in a second, can't you?
Yeah, pretty quick.
Which is also quite powerful.
It's
The
also
problem,
an escape as well, right? Like you can sort of, if you really have to, I've used it a few times where I was like, oh, I'm going to die, just nip into a bush and push it, and hopefully, like, if they're not quite on the ball, you zip up in the air and get away, right?
the problem that I found with it, although I do love it, is that it can easily be interrupted. It's sort of like the animation is quite
Long.
obvious,
It's like a second or something.
And so just
1.25 seconds. It takes forever.
and you can see it. So all you need is just a little stun, and then all of a sudden
them
you're
games, man.
yeah, that's rough.
Them games where someone's just so aware of it, and just every time you try and go into it, just boop.
I feel like exactly. So I feel like it could be a bit.
Insider, man. That's what he's like.
I feel like it could be a bit of a win more kind of talent. Like you're really winning quite hard anyway, and you can you can pop it like preemptively and get lots of value out of it. But when you're under a lot of pressure and you'll keep getting focused, it's quite hard
Early
to use it.
Lifebinder. You got to do it early as well, right?
Save the first death.
Just prevent the first death. Yeah, it's all about that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Rather than trying to save someone that, you know, a lot of times I still do it. I still get caught overextending because someone else is overextended and I'm trying to save them.
yeah.
You know? That's like the healer's nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I can save him. I know I can save him. I know I can. But I'm good. Like, you know,
But-
if he just does slightly wrong, we're both going to die.
Well,
I do fall into that.
It's a very fine line, isn't it? It's like knowing if you can save them or not, because if
But
you've got a good
Lifebinder-
healer, they do come back, and all you need is just one heal and then a slow, and you can just get away. But Yeah, if they overcommit, then it's just then turns into 2 kills, doesn't it? And can be problematic.
But Lifebinder save anyone because it saves you
including
as well.
yourself.
You give them all your life, and then you give yourself all the life, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, it's a better escape.
After playing, thousands of games with her or whatever, it's all about Lifebinder.
Yeah, definitely. So 13, you go Dragon Scales just because you get passive value from that, less things to think about.
Yeah.
Helps you get your flower a bit easier.
When I overstep with a flower,
Yeah.
But Pacify is probably the best talent. And when I first started playing, I used to take Life Unbound because more heals.
Same here, actually. I mean, they're all strong talents on that tier, frankly.
Yeah, of course they're all right,
yeah.
But it's all about that one for me. But because of the flower build, right? Dragons.
Yes.
16, I take the Draconic Discipline.
Yeah. I think that's...
Again, I don't really think the armour is as good.
Armour
25 armour isn't that much.
Armour is strong, but 2.5 seconds, is that long enough? It sounds...
7 seconds of Dragon, you can do a lot of pushing and flaming down things.
And it's probably another... Is it another abundance, or perhaps not actually?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
14 seconds.
Shield on abundance.
I mean, the extra 7 seconds of Dragon Queen. Would you get another big circle?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because it's 14-second cooldown.
Definitely. And Dragon is overpowered, man, as well. Just 3 Qs, just hitting everyone.
Yeah.
Pushing them away. It's really, really powerful. And so that extra 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Plus, especially with your build.
Yeah.
You'll proc the flame. And you take on Ruby Wings and Cleansing Flame, and you're proccing it with that, it's just constant Dragon. You get it so often. Like, if you're lucky, you can literally have it. You just feel like you've always got it. It's brilliant.
That's right.
Your healing, your capacity for healing is really, really dropped, And so usually, like, I'm not sure how everyone likes to play, but we usually play like sort of having the tank, don't let the tank die. Like, if it's a good tank and you can keep them alive, none of your other heroes will die either, right?
Mm.
Like, the amount of times like Insider will save me, or like Gale will just appear from nowhere and throw me with Garrosh, like throwing me over the wall, just to save me, right? Just awesome.
Scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
Yeah, awesome sort of plays like that, right? And so if you've got that really strong tank that's well on the ball, you can totally keep him alive forever. Like, because he'll just do all his stuff and then just quickly take a few steps back, just heal him, and then he walks back in, like, if they know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Really enjoyable. That.
It's definitely Draconic Discipline on that 16 is definitely the one to go to. But on 20, see, the thing is, if you're
Ritual of Life, if we're fighting, if the tank's dying. So if the tank's died a couple of times, I'll take Ritual of Life. But if we're winning and we're on top, well, if I took Cleansing Flame, I'll take on Ruby Wings, right? Just because it makes it really.
I think that's the best talent on the tier, Ruby Rings, to be honest.
Yeah. But if you'd play my build, you would have taken Lifebinder.
Yes.
So that's not an option.
No.
So if your tank's still dying, even though you got Lifebinder, take Ritual of Life because it's just mad heals. But if you're on top and you're winning, I'll take Blessing of the Red. I'll just give it to everybody.
Yeah.
And then it just extra 500 health on everybody really helps to keep the momentum going, and keeps giving you them little advantages. So when you've got the momentum going forward, that's a great talent.
Honestly, I think with your build, that's the better one because you've got so much sustain anyway. Yeah, you're keeping them topped up, so keeping everyone topped up over 500 extra health is really big. And I think if one Lifebinder doesn't save someone, it's done too late, or I think it feels like that's a bit overkill, isn't it? Ritual of Life sort of thing.
I don't know if they've got like a mad CC.
Shame.
Comp.
Yeah, but it's still a whole.
So just like,
It's a whole health bar. Like if you've got 100% health, even on level 10, they get 100% health as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right, so it's still a whole health. Like it can't go more than a whole health bar. So
yeah.
I don't know. No, like there might come occasionally. You might get value from that, but I think probably you'd get more consistent value from Blessing of the Red. I reckon. Unless, of course, Ruby Wings, that's definitely the choice if you do go Cleansing Flame, isn't it?
So with the Flame build, you just take all the Flame talents, do you?
Yeah.
Flame of Fury.
Flame of Fury, you need to stack it early, right? And then you want to be getting more dragons.
Yeah, 20 hits is well easy, yeah. That's got to be like a level 4 quest, isn't it?
Sometimes
3 or 4.
It's not as easy as you think, sometimes, to be honest. But
well, you can afford
if you can hit a
skill
shot,
brave, just to get it.
Yeah, it depends on the game.
Powerful. Like to have your dragon going down by 5 seconds every time for the whole game is really powerful.
Yeah, it's good. It definitely in late game as well. And you increase the slow from 50%, and importantly, to 50%, it causes it to no longer decay.
Oh
so,
yeah, because it sort of speed up a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like
so
slow,
it's not a 40. It's not a 40% slow for 2 seconds. It's 40% for like 1 second, and then 20%, and then.
Yeah. So it's just bare 50.
It's bare 50 for 2 seconds. So that's good value. That you can, and also
value, but again, this is very aggressive, right? So how are you healing people?
What it also does is, hang on, it allows you to hit more.
Yeah,
flame because they can't dodge.
Because they're slower, so you can hit them more.
So it feeds into that.
Yeah.
So you can hit them more, and also at 7, you're getting 10% of your own health healed every time you hit them. So you can heal yourself more, meaning you don't have to get in all of your W's, your abundances. You can be more aggressive with those and throw them onto the tanks.
You're still using your own health to heal other people.
Yeah, but every time you hit someone, you get 10% of it back.
How much do you heal them for? Is it 10%?
It's 15% of your current health you lose.
So it's diminishing return, but yeah.
I mean, no, because flame buffet you can do every 2 seconds. You can only heal every 7 seconds.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So actually, you can
So the other thing, we're not the elephant in the room, is mana.
Yeah, but
when you're caning that flame,
that restores it, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, if they're on fire. Yeah.
So
if they're on fire and you hit them, it restores it.
Yes. So that's fine. You don't really have mana problems with Alex generally.
I forgot about that. No. Well, I always feel like I have to be careful with my E because I'll run my mana out before level 7. Like after 7, it's fine because you only use mana for that. Because Life Blossom means you get it free.
Right.
Life Blossom, so you can collect the Life Blossom to make her next gift of life cost no health. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just have to make sure that you're hitting someone that's already on fire, basically. Like even if it's going through the minion wave, so that you can definitely hit a minion every time, and get heroes. Within
that's
that
right.
As well.
So it's free.
So you only pay for the first cast of it in any given skirmish. So do you take
Pacify on 13 then?
So yes, I take pretty much every time I take Pacify, and I just feel that the value. If you're being focused, you can put it on them and run away from them. That's fine. But it also means that hero that you put it on, you can save other people with it as well. So it's more versatile, and you can crack it on whoever's doing the most damage on their team.
Yeah, 60 seconds is a long old cooldown, isn't it? But if they're stunned, rooted, or silenced, it reduces it by.
If you heal a stunned, rooted, or silenced ally, then it can come back very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same actually as Life and Bound. I believe that has the same. Yeah. Healing a stunned, rooted, or silenced ally reduces it by 13.
Yeah, that's right. But that one's 90 seconds. Pacify 60.
So Pacify for me it's really strong because you can. It helps you to kill people very easily who they can't run away because. It slows them by 50% as well.
Yeah, for 3 seconds.
They become like really small, and they do half the damage they normally would to anyone, not just to yourself, sort of thing. Which is what Dragon Scales gives you. But
16 is Dragon, yeah.
You do have to push it. Yes, Dragon all the way 16 because that's what we're trying to get as many dragons as possible. And then on 20.
Oh, you were just testing that. So what happened with Ancient Flame?
Yeah, so Ancient Flame. Yeah, so basically because we've gone on 7 Fire Within. On level 7, Fire Within, we're healing 10% every time we hit with Flame Buffet. On 20, Ancient Flame makes a basic attack apply a Flame Buffet. So you only have to W once, and then just basic attacks, whilst in Dragon, is healing you for 10% every time. So you just stand there, heal. So
Dragon Queen attack,
it's really empowering the Dragon to just stay in the fight.
If you've got a dragon at level 20, if you've got a dragon with you, like if you're approaching the core and someone pops a dragon, you've done it. You've won. Don't run off. Stay in the W. Let her push them away and just smash the core. Because then flame buffets on structures. I don't know if they do more damage to structures like the Triggerlov.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it does more. It just seems to mash them down really fast, man.
Does it burn over time or something like that?
Oh no. It feels that way. I don't know if it is. That's just the way it feels.
Yeah, hitting enemies that are already burning deals 125 bonus damage upon impact.
Perhaps it does that then.
Yeah,
to the
so
structures.
Enemies.
You know how Triggerlov, if you punch a hero,
Yeah.
you do less damage than if you punch a structure.
Yes.
I feel like it's got something like that in it.
Oh, do
Because
you?
honestly, you just
I'm not
like,
sure about
I
that.
don't know. It feels really weird. Just feel like I'm melting it down. Like wow.
It's probably because you're standing next to the Zebu.
Push them all away.
Yeah. Like I reckon it's you're standing next to the Zebu who's just toading it.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're thinking, wow, I'm really
I don't
powerful.
even know.
It's the
Yeah,
geezer
I'm
next to you
well
that's melting it. Anyway, so two.
Yeah, I will try it out. I will try yours out actually. Like if I get in a team where people have got a lot of self-sustain, I'll try it.
Look at that, because the main thing for me with Alexstrasza, with the two builds, is that I feel that they have a similar amount of burst heal in the moment to keep safe and prevent the first person from dying. So they both have
That's
Lifebinder
right.
and a circle underneath them and a Q. So you can put all three of those, and I could pacify as well the person that's the main damage dealer that's focusing that person. So in
how
that
many times? Yeah.
in that second, I feel like which is the most important part, and as the team fight breaks out, someone gets stunned, and then the focus damage comes down. I feel like you can be just as effective in that moment, which is
For that
that's
1
why you're
second,
picking her
yeah.
for that. And I bet you just get more dragons, so you can be more aggressive if you're on top.
Well,
but it
free
does.
Qs in the dragon as well, so that makes up for that as well a little bit.
Yeah, free
If you
Qs
get
in the
more
dragon.
You're
Exactly.
getting more free Qs.
Yeah, that's right. But it does require, just like when you're going Karazim or something, it requires your teammates to be aware that you can't just chuck out heals willy-nilly.
Yeah.
And so they have to be a bit more in and out, wait for the CC to drop and go all in and then pull back a bit, tap the well. You know, like you can't rely on the healers solely to
Perhaps
keep
I
you
just
up.
like being reliable.
Yeah, maybe. But again, it
I'm
goes...
here.
Yeah.
Have a flower. There's another flower. It's okay. Let's change lanes. Have a flower. There you go. Oh, there's another flower. Get one flower.
Yeah, what word did you say? I feel like I prefer being a support. You said a different word rather than a healer. Like using mitigation and stuff rather than just pure heals.
Yeah. You're more. Yeah.
Utility, yes, like having more utility than just pure heals.
Well, I sometimes I find myself like if people aren't bot soaking, then I find myself in lane on my own as well because of the flame, because of your E. It's really tempting to do minion waves. Like you feel like you're doing them quickly, but you're really not, are you? It just feels like you are. And but I'm sure that with that flame, all the flame talents as well, that'd make that more manageable too.
Yeah, I mean she has got a great amount of wave clear as a healer in general.
For a healer, for sure. But
Yeah. So that's helpful and doesn't run out of mana as we've discussed by doing the wave clear. So you can freely clear waves. Clearing waves, soaking bots.
we love it. So
Loving it. Alexstrasza.
let
us know if anyone plays the third build.
yeah, the W.
Focusing
build.
on
I was just
W.
about to say that. Is that a thing?
You see it occasionally, yeah, and you know I think in the right context it works, but there's always a meta build, isn't there?
You don't get enough of them, do you?
Like if you've got a heavy melee comp, I think it's when it comes out well. Also, if you've got characters that do well from hearts or globes, as they're called now, like Diablo Ming, for example. So on Diablo, you go souls. What's his
You don't get
Devil's
that many.
Due?
I'm saying it's every 14 seconds.
Yeah, but it adds to the sustain. And like Diablo's, the amount of value he gets from a globe is like once he's got 100 souls, it's like half a health bar. It's very significant.
Yeah.
And also Li Ming, if she has on her regeneration globes, restore 100% more mana and grant 10% spell power for 20 seconds. So you're
I used to
also
take that. Yeah, I don't think I do anymore.
no. This is
I think I've
normally
got
the
better.
one.
Take a different one.
It's normally false armor. But that's it. I mean, it's a great talent, especially if you're going with. If you've got Diablo and a Ming, and you've got Alexstrasza, and then the other players are all melee, then you could well be looking at taking the abundance build, in my opinion. But there's always horses for courses or whatever. There's always exceptions to the rule, isn't there? And
play to your strengths as well, right?
Yeah, if you can think like that and be versatile, then it's great. But there is always a meta build as well in the same breath. So
there is a meta build, but you should build to your draft ultimately, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Like what the other people are using.
Yeah,
should synergise with.
That's correct.
That's where the real value is, right? Is synergising together.
That's true. But the only thing it makes me think of is, like, in a draft you might choose to counter somebody, but by doing so, you also make your own draft weaker than it could have been. So sometimes it's not worth the counter, is it? Or it's not worth bending over backwards to do this niche thing that you think will work, but really you get more value from just doing the meta thing.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to experiment with and weigh up, isn't it, really? You have to make the best decision you can at the time.
That's right. Play to your skill level.
Yes, yeah. So Alexstrasza. Now everyone has a cleanse, which is definitely much more viable, not just on maps where you have to control a point like Infernal Shrines or Volskaya Foundry. I think she's viable on any map now, and they're the two main builds. Give them a go. Let us know if you do the W build.
Yeah. I'd like to see that.
Yarp.
Right, nice one. Cheers.
Peace.
Please leave comments, share and subscribe, and if you thought that it was worth it, then give it a like.